Most people believe optimism is something that you receive at the end of a difficult experience, the light at the end of the tunnel. But optimism is more than that. Optimism is about the way you handle difficult experiences, the way you set goals, the way you build habits, the way you deal with anxiety and depression, the way you take care of your health, the way you speak with yourself when something bad happens. Because optimism is a mediator between difficult events and the way you perceive these difficult events. In fact, optimism is not just a mood, because if it would be just a mood, then you would wait for it to happen. But optimism is a strategic set of habits, and you can start building your lifestyle as an optimist step by step. Imagine you are walking down the street to meet some friends, and it's about a 30-minute walk. As soon as you start walking, it starts raining. And as soon as you start feeling on your skin the rain, that's when you tell yourself a story about the experience. That's when you put meaning on whatever is happening to you, because the experience itself has no inbuilt meaning. Imagine you are going through this experience and there's another person having the same experience, but the way you look at the experience itself is through the story you tell yourself, and the story you tell yourself is going to be different compared to the other person, which means the experience itself has no inbuilt meaning. And this is at the foundation of the framework that I built for optimism. And when you start realizing that the experiences you have no inbuilt meaning, that's when you can start building your life with intention instead of just letting life happen around you. The words you use are not simple ways of describing the life that you live, the things that are happening to you and around you. The words you use are construction tools that are helping you build the life you want to build, the life you want to live. And for example, if you keep telling yourself that you are not good at something, whatever that is, then you are not just describing yourself. You are creating a pessimistic perspective about yourself, and you are using that perspective to navigate the world around you. And when I did the research for the strategic optimism framework that I built, I discovered something very important, and that is called an explanatory style. And we use the explanatory style to, in a way, put a definition on the setbacks that we experience. And through this explanatory style, if we have a pessimistic explanatory style, then we see setbacks as permanent. And if we have an optimistic explanatory style, we see setbacks as something temporary, something that is happening right now and in a few days, a few weeks, or a few months is not there anymore, is not permanent. And with other words, the most easiest and practical way to become more optimistic is to pay attention at the language and the words you use, and start changing that little by little so it matches the life that you want to build. Most people believe that if you want to be successful, you will need two things. You need skill and you need desire or motivation. If you have these two things, skill and desire or motivation, then you are successful. But the formula is a bit incomplete. And I would say that you also need optimism. You also need the belief that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. And for example, let's say that you want to paint a masterpiece. You want to paint the Mona Lisa. And you can have all the skill in the world, and you can have all the desire and motivation in the world, but if you don't believe you can paint the Mona Lisa, you can paint the masterpiece, then you will paint something that will be beautiful, but it won't be the Mona Lisa. And that's where the optimism and the ability to believe that you can do the things that you want to do will come in handy, let's say. Because at the end of the day, you are able to build things without optimism, and you will be able to do it just with the motivation and just with the skill. But eventually they will run out. Eventually, if the things that you build are not where you want them to be, and if you don't believe that you can build the things that you want to build, eventually you will stop doing it and you will just move on. One of the things that I discovered when I did the research for the strategic optimism framework goes like this. If you don't let go of your traumatic past, you won't be able to have an optimistic future. And if you keep holding on to your past, and if you keep reliving your past traumas, then you are stuck on whatever happened on your past, because you're not just remembering those memories, you are using them to reinforce whatever is happening to you in the present moment, whatever bad experiences you are having right now, and through that reinforcement you are reliving your past on repeat. And I'm not saying just let go on a spiritual manner, even though letting go of your traumas involve a lot of spiritual practice, but I'm saying it more in a practical way, as in decide that whatever you went through in the past belongs in the past, and let it there. Make a decision with your whole body and your mind and your soul to let everything that was in the past, to let it there and just move on. It's a matter of decision, it's not a matter of spiritual practice. And when you do that, when you let the past in the past, you will have a clearer mind and you will be able to use the optimism and the positive things that you set for yourself to build the life that you want to build. There is a very uncomfortable idea and also a powerful idea that I'm going to share with you right now. So people get stuck in pessimism because when they are pessimistic, this pessimism is not just a way of thinking, it is also connected to a specific kind of energy. And when you are pessimistic, you stay in that energy, and that energy, even though it's hurting you, it becomes familiar because you are in that energy for a longer period of time. And when it is familiar, it is also safe. And this energy is connected to feelings such as anger, resentment, guilt, blame, and so on. And these kind of feelings are strongly associated with pessimism. And you can practice optimism as much as you want, and you can keep telling yourself words of way of thinking that are connected to optimism, but if you still feel resentment and anger and guilt and fear and frustration and all these negative emotions that are connected to pessimism, they will override whatever you're thinking and whatever strategy here in the brain you have, they will override it. And people keep trying replacing this pessimism that they live with just words, but they get stuck emotionally in the energy of pessimism, which is connected to all these negative feelings that I just mentioned earlier. Nostalgia feels warm. It feels good to be nostalgic about the past. It's in a way is the love we have for our past experiences. But the reality is a bit more complex than that, because nostalgia can trigger rumination. When you're nostalgic about the past and you want things to be as they were in the past, you in a way enforce your past. And that's where rumination happens. You keep ruminating the past experiences and keep thinking, oh, it was so good when things were in a specific way. But it doesn't stop there, because rumination can trigger negative self-talk. because you can think back then things were okay, but right now in the present moment they're not okay, and that can lead to negative self-talk. But negative self-talk can also trigger helplessness, because when you speak to yourself in such a negative way and you keep doing it, you may tend to feel helpless. And it doesn't stop there, because helplessness can trigger depression. And that's why being nostalgic about things is not really something that is encouraged. You can look at your past and be grateful for whatever happened in your past, and that's where you should stop, because you can't keep living forward, which is a core orientation of optimism, while emotionally living backwards. There is a very subtle distinction that I would like to address, because you can let all your traumas in the past and you can stop ruminating about whatever happened in the past, but that doesn't mean you are an optimist. You are living in a positive state where you enjoy things as they are, and that is a good state, that is a good life that you're living, but that doesn't mean you are an optimist. Being an optimist requires to have a vision that brings meaning to your life. It means that you want to build something that may feel impossible right now, because you want to have that for whatever purpose, whatever meaning, whatever reason in your life. It's something so big and so important and so meaningful that you want to have it in your life. And that is an important aspect of optimism, because if that's not present in your life, then you're living a comfortable life. But when there's meaning and there's a purpose, you may start feeling alive. Imagine you are crossing the street and there's a green light, but even though there's a green light and you should be safe, a car almost hit you. And there's a big noise from the brakes of the car and you get scared and you try to understand what is going on. And most people absorb the meaning of whatever happens, as in they may get angry because the driver didn't pay enough attention to whatever was going on. They may get too scared because their life is in danger. But in reality, nothing happened. The car stopped before hitting you, even though it was really close, and you are able to move on with your life. And the ability that I'm talking about right here is about not absorbing the meaning of whatever you're going through, and instead being able to pause, understand, acknowledge, and set the meaning that you want to set on that experience. Because, as I said, experiences have no inbuilt meaning. It is you who put the meaning on something that is happening to you. But when things are so spontaneous, we get stuck, we get lost in whatever happens, because we don't have the time to acknowledge. And that is one skill that I recommend everyone building. Being able to not absorb the meaning, but setting it yourself. Life itself has no inbuilt meaning. You fail, you succeed, people come and go, and you have all kinds of experiences. And when you realize it, it is both humbling and liberating. And it is humbling because you realize you can't blame the world for all the stories that you tell yourself. You can't. And at the same time is liberating because you realize that you can rewrite all these stories, and it is entirely you who has both the ability and the freedom to write the stories of the experiences that you're having. So when it comes to life and the meaningless life that we're living, In a way, I think this is the greatest gift, the greatest gift that we've been given, because we are able to set whatever meaning we want to set on our experiences. And some of our experiences may be painful, some of them may be joyful, but in the end, after the emotion gets to lower its intensity, we get to write the story, and we have all the freedom we could have to write whatever we want to write.